probably by far my favorite dungeon in the entire Ocarina of Time series, for many reasons. First, it has just really cool atmosphere and a really, nice music. It has like the Egyptian theme style. It has like, these little serpent things, looking, statue things when you come in. It has like, a snake, Egyptian goddess lady looking thing. I mean, the Desert Colossus is, where the Spirit Temple is inside, in the Gerudo Valley. And I just remember when I first played this game, I just fell in love with the Spirit Temple. Like, I'm really into like the deserty stuff and, the Egyptian feel. I really find that interesting. That is Naburu. She is the second in command, and you meet her in the Spirit Temple. That's a layout of the temple. But you meet her, and she basically says, she's trying to sneak into the temple and get this item, the silver gauntlet, so she can get deeper in the temple and steal the treasure and everything from Ganondorf. Those are Trwinrova, the boss of the dungeon. The two old witches, they brainwash Naburu and have her fight you, and then after you beat her and find out it's Naburu, they, I guess, banish her. I don't know what they do. They like disintegrate her. But that boss fight was just so fun, like getting to use the Mirror Shield, because you get two items in the Spirit Temple. You get the Mirror Shield and the Silver Gauntlets, and this boss fight of Trwinrova is just one of my top favorite boss fights of the whole Zelda series. Like, I just remember I enjoyed this boss fight so much, getting to use the Mirror Shield. Just everything about the Spirit Temple, I loved it. Like, I loved playing it. It's like the last dungeon in the game. It's like the best. Like, I just love it. I know lots of other people who love it. There's that goddess statue lady thing I was telling you about. The creators just did a great job with this dungeon. Like, they made it fun, and it's a little more challenging. It's not, too hard or anything, but it is more challenging, being that it's like the last official dungeon. Well, technically, you can play the Shadow Temple, but you can do the Spirit Temple before the Shadow Temple, but I usually just like to do the Spirit Temple last, just because I enjoy it the most. It's just a great dungeon. And, I've played the regular version. Oh, there's a like. I hate those things. But, yeah, it's just such a great dungeon, and it's just, I just love it so much. Like, it's just so amazing. Like, I loved it. Like, there's two versions. I've played the original version and the Master Quest version. And the Master Quest it's a little more tricky, but it's not too bad. The only part that really stumped me on the Master Quest version was that room where you have like the little pits, and you had to kill the Armos, those little statue guys, or Beamos. I don't know why I said Armos, I meant Beamos. And then you had to move these time blocks to where you could get that wooden crate and put it on that pressure plate to get through to the next room. And I had so much trouble with that the first time. Like, it gave me so much trouble. Like, I don't even know why it was just so hard. Like, it's just... That's like the main thing I had problems with. Other than that, it was a pretty straightforward dungeon, and like I said, it was my favorite dungeon of the game, and I typically tend to enjoy the desert dungeons the most. They're usually my favorite dungeons in the Zelda game. Like, I also really liked the Sand Ship and Skyward Sword, and I really liked Arbiter's Grounds and Twilight Princess. Just all the kind of desert. The one exception that I didn't really care for too much was the Wind Temple and the Wind Waker. It was kind of more of a deserty kind of looking dungeon, but it just, I don't know, like I didn't care much for it. It was like the one exception. But like all the other Zelda games I played, and then like the Stone Tower Temple and Majora's Mask was also very, very fun and interesting because you get to literally play the dungeon, and then you get to play in it normal side, and then you get to play in it like upside down, and it uses like all the elements that you've used from throughout the game. You get to use all the masks, and I think that makes it really unique. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Later. Bye.